Hey Brenda, how you doing? Hello everybody. Welcome, welcome. Mad props, I don't know what you're asking. This is going downstream. I'm on the west side of the river. This is. And north of the bridge, you go about a mile or so, and it goes out and opens up into Lake Huron. Yes, that is correct. This is looking south. That's north. That goes on down the St. Clair River down to Detroit and beyond. Here comes Dominic. Good evening, Dominic. Or good morning in your case.
Yeah, it's good morning. How is everybody?
I'm on Stone Street, north of Garfield, Mad Props.
Okay.
It's about a mile to the bridge.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Okay.
So what's going on in your neighborhood there, Dominic? Anything?
Oh, not that much. The weather has basically turned to winter.
I was gonna
So
say you got a heavy coat sweater on.
yeah. Yep, I have. And it's time for breakfast. So
And so your winter will last until what, like October, November?
uh no, we get a few spurts in September. We get some really strange weather. It'll heat up, then cool down, then heat up, then cool down. So,
Here comes Captain Joe. Good evening, Joe.
Good evening.
Sounds like Louisiana. Hot and cold, hot and cold.
So what do you think the temperature is there now, Dominic?
Um, 12 degrees Celsius. So
That's in the 40s then, right?
Yeah, I'd say.
Well, it's only 57 degrees here.
$12 is 53.
Okay, so you got the same temperature as I got.
Huh. Unbelievable. Brenda, Randy.
How'd you do today, Paul? Flying.
What did I get? I got two ships, the American Century and the Andine.
Okay.
None of them close this time?
No.
Hey, Lance.
Lance, what's up? Lord, Neo's on the way. You're getting punished. Well, I took a ride over the Pearl River, the West Pearl River by the interstate. There's a lot of houseboats and it's a train bridge and it's really nice. The only issue you got out there is that when you fly a drone, especially now, every swallow in Louisiana has to come look at it.
And checking you out, huh?
Every one of them. I mean, none of them missed. All of them were there. It was a cheek clenching moment. I'm over 45 feet of water and birds just doing this. I'm just glad that bunch of chickens and didn't have enough guts to hit it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's only at a certain altitude. Once you get up a little higher, when they're there, and they leave you alone.
Boone, what do you want?
Oh, good.
But when you go under the interstate bridge, that's the altitude.
Boone's like having a kid here. He wants out again. Right back.
Boone's saying, I want to go outside and have some fun. I don't want to sit here like you.
Yeah.
I'll be old. But it was fun. I did that.
Mm.
Then I came back and I'm waiting to Justin come here. I'm gonna yell at him. Remember the gas gauge I got a problem with, right?
Mm.
That I always fill it up at about 170, 160. The other day it was 184 and I was fine. And I've kind of figured it all out, mileage and everything. I really have about 350 miles to play with.
Mm.
So I'm at 189 coming back going to get gas. And as I get on the interstate, I'm on the bridge getting ready to go on the interstate and it goes, I went, oh, bullshit. Like that. Like when I caught the incline, it didn't suck the gas in.
No, no.
Then it all of a sudden started working. I said, boy, I'm gonna knock Justin out. Because he said, you're gonna take it for granted one day and run out of gas.
Mhm.
But it only took 9 gallons. I got a 13-gallon tank. So
Mm.
it was there. $13.9-gallon tank. My son called me all excited today. Justin.
Yeah. What do you say?
He called me and he said that he was leaving the house. He got a phone call from the recruiting officer over at New Bern Police. And they said, hey, we're looking at your thing, man. When are you going to get here? Like that. And he says, I'm planning on getting there around the 14th. He says, well, he said, give me a firm date when you get a chance. He said, make sure you know. He said, this is what we need from you. Get this information. He said, because we want to get you right in here and talk to you. We got to do an interview with you, a board interview with you. We don't want it to waste time.
Well, what he might want to do is drive up there and go to the interview and then drive back.
No, we got too much to do here. Go do it later. It's okay. He's fine. He's still got to get out of his apartment, move all his stuff, everything else. It's not worth the drive up, drive back. He's good where he's at. You don't have the money for the extra back and forth. But he was making all the plans today, getting all the U-Haul and everything together. He needed he's gonna pull with his truck and everything. And he talked to the guy, and the guy he said because he's still got to get information here from people. So he's still got about another week of pulling paperwork. And the guy said, yeah, he said what they'll do is take all the stuff showing what you were trained in, give it to North Carolina, let North Carolina see what you need. Still, if you need anything. He said, you're going to need the North Carolina laws, period. He said, so what happens is we'll put if he said, if you're hired like that, he said, what will happen He said, after we meet you and everything, what will happen, basically? He said, you will come FTO, you will have your gun, you'll be commissioned, the whole works. And maybe 1 week you might be in a class when they're going over the laws, but the next week you might be on a unit with the FTO. He said, you won't be in class the whole time, you'll be back and forth, you know? He said, until you pass the written test, he said, then you'll get your units, you know, and all of that. He said, we've had people come on and they work for 3 months like that. They might do classes for a total of a half a month. And then they on the street. He said, so he said, we're looking forward to it. He said, you got a lot from what we've seen. We want to see you. So we'll find out. No, I'm not giving you anything else. You got food in there. I gave you a treat, gave you a bacon treat too. You gotta go.
So he told him he's got to move up there, right?
Oh, he told him he's moving. He said, because we knew you in we saw you in Louisiana, so we needed to find out when we'll be able to get you up here. And he said, well, I'm planning on moving up around the 12th, 13th. It might be a couple of days earlier. He said, my brother lives in New Bern. He's in the Marines. He said, so I'm gonna move in with him until I can get a place. And the guy said, that's great. He said, because you'll be right here. So they all, he said they talked for about 35 minutes.
Wow.
So he was in a whole better mood today.
I'll bet.
What's going to be funny is that he's going to be up there, he's going to have the job, and they're going to contact him and say, hey, when can you come in, start and slide down? And he's going to say, I'm in North Carolina. I didn't wait for you. No, I told him, I said, when you get up there, if you get the job, you need to contact Slide Down and let them know, pull you out of it because you got a job somewhere else.
Yep.
Don't let them call you in case you ever want to come back, you know?
Yeah, you don't want to get that bad reputation, you know.
So you think by now that'll stop getting baited by every food code for prep?
Well, good for him. Dominic, are you awake or are you sleeping?
I'm just reading something.
Oh, okay.
Being sent. I'm being sent a couple of things.
Ah,
Just making sure that girl isn't in trouble when she's texting him.
is she looking for bail money or what?
No, she's saying, I
Yeah.
got a creep here. I need your help. I need your help. Come strong on him.
Here comes Don.
There's Don.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Donald.
Hi
Good
guys.
evening.
Yeah, Lance isn't here yet, so you're all right. Dre's not here either.
It has been a day.
Mm-hmm.
Lots to do, huh?
Lots to do. I thought I've had stuff that's been on my plate for about a month and a half that's been on my whiteboard, and I thought I was gonna actually finally, I've been waiting on people for stuff. Thought I was finally gonna get it marked off my board today, and I got all of it except for four things got held up now again. It's like,
So there's you're waiting on things from other people, right?
yeah, but still frustrating.
Yeah.
I got good news today. My wife is getting a promotion or has been offered a promotion.
Right.
Is she going to take it?
I think so. But moving up to like an assistant manager, I don't know if that puts her over. But I don't know where it puts her in their company. Because they've got multiple locations, multiple branches and stuff. But I told her, woohoo, I'm working on a sugar mama.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yep, it is. She tied my pay the year that they laid me off. She finally tied what I was getting paid, which was a good thing since I got laid off. And then they hired me back for less than what I was making. So this raise should get us back to what we were that year.
Trying to say we need our own Trump, and Adam Schiff sounds like this Democrat dirty Harry. Over my dead body, get the F out of here. And how can we talk like men? And then every time a real man talks, they're like, "Oh my God, I can't hear this." You guys got to pick a lane and figure it out. Yeah, Joe Biden. These are these conversations I had with the air conditioner.
And it's always good to have a sugar mama. I get to refer to myself as a kept man now, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, you can look at it that way.
Which is a layup. So now they're acting like, oh, we didn't see anything. He skipped the Super Bowl. That's when you knew. That's when you knew it was all over. They were in on Heiden Biden. And he slept without Will. He slept with
No, I've been feeling ill ever since lunch. I ate the last burger from the other day when we had family over and cooked and stuff, grilled burgers. I had this burger, and I don't know, it set with me. It set really wrong.
Hmm.
So now I went out, I picked some mint, and I'm having some mint tea.
Okay. Nice.
Where's David today?
Be here.
Do what?
He'll be here.
Okay. Because I was going to tell him I solved the kettle conundrum at my house.
Oh, great.
Because he's always talking about kettles are better. And that, you can't microwave your water. You should use a kettle. But I solved it because the kettle, you got to go in, you got to mess with the kettle and stuff. And so I thought, last night I got a bright idea. The kettle only holds so much. So I boiled a couple kettles worth of water and then froze it. And now I just have to reheat it in the microwave.
Oh, definitely.
That's funny. Well, I'm gonna buy a glass kettle so I could just heat it in the microwave.
I think that's called a pitcher.
Yeah, the same thing.
Hmm.
You had an interesting day, Bob.
Well, that was a picture I took right after I flew a ship. These kids are yelling and screaming back behind me because across the street was the Edison station that Thomas Edison used to board the train at.
Well, you also, Mo, if you knew Thomas Edison.
Mm.
Yep, this is the boyhood home of Thomas Edison. He moved to New York, but this is where he grew up. That's why it's called the Edison Parkway.
Okay.
While they were in the past, he might have called their past river.
Not in that story.
Just like that. Two days before. Best there. One here after the fact.
Mr. Bennett, you send a complaint, investigation will stop.
Yes, ma'am, but I'm listening for you. Whether it's planning.
Very well, we'll talk to you after now.
Lemon pepper fries. And when I was working at Pizza Hut, I hated Wing Wednesday. We did a lot of wings.
What's the problem with wings? Wings are fast.
Well, what was problem is that you had to make sure you had everything sorted early in the day, and I was the one that sorted everything.
Bag and counting your bags out and getting those stacked and
Yeah.
ready to go.
And I
So you're
had
doing
one
that
guy
before
used
the
to
rush
call
is
up in the
on, so
middle of
that's
the
just
freaking night.
that's
Yeah,
just prep stuff.
we
I would have
prep.
rather done wings than do dough.
You get to the point where it's all relative, you know, one or the other.
No,
The only time I really hated it when we used to do the cheesy crust.
the
Because you had
stuffed crust.
the stuffed crust.
Yeah,
When we had to do the stuffed crust, you had to stretch it a little bit more. And then the
Uh-huh.
ones where
you
they
hand
had the
toss and
little
roll it
bites
over and touch.
and the bites. And you had to cut the bites.
We never did the bites.
We did the
Bites
bites. And
came. The bites
there was
came
a
after. I was there when they introduced the stuffed crust, and the bites
Yeah,
came after.
the bites were a certain way you had to do it, right? And I found out if I just took the scissors and went click, 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 click around as faster, well, my area coach used to get pissed like that. She said, "You can't do that. You got to do it with this." I said, "Come see. You do one and I'll do one. And as long as you got the same measurements, fine. You cutting it the same. When you get in there, it's gonna melt the same." She
Yep.
said, "Do it the way you want." You know, then she realized
Well-
how much faster it was, you know.
Well, they probably that people starting are kind of knuckleheads and they'll get the measurements wrong and messed up. After you do a couple thousand pizzas, you get really
You don't
fast with
mess-
that, like
When
with
I
the
was
rocker
at-
knife and getting even pieces with the rocker knife and get fast at it.
When I was at Baskin Robbins in high school, you had to have a 2.5 ounce scoop.
Mhm.
Every ice cream is going to be completely different because of the different whatever's in it. But it was like you felt it in your wrist. You just knew when it was 2.5 ounces. And I could measure, I could weigh it, and
Yep.
I'd be very close to it every time.
Yep. Taco Tico, you got a one ounce swipe of meat on the taco shell. And you got where it was like, oh, that one's heavy. And pull a little bit
Muscle
off,
memory.
test it, yep. And you knew you could feel the taco shell and 1 ounce of meat, and you know exactly what that was.
Muscle memory. That's all it was. And I knew I used to, he goes, I used to, we worked right there by the high school, by the college. So the college girls would come in, right? And I scoop them a scoop that looked like a 2.5 ounce scoop, but it might be 4 ounces. You know, I'd give them a little bit more. And then I'd get some guy being an asshole with me. And I'd give him 1.5 ounces. It looked like 2.5. I just give more air in it, you know?
And the girls probably never appreciated the extra ice cream.
They probably didn't even realize it. My girlfriend came in one time and I was scooping one for her. She looked at it. She goes, when she got home, she said, when we got home that night, she said, that was not the right kind of scoop because that was a lot of ice cream in there. I said, you're right. It was about 4 ounces. I said I made it up for the next one.
Soup solution, don't care.
But my favorite thing at Baskin Robbins was French vanilla ice cream with 2 scoops of hot fudge, whipped cream, nuts, and a cherry, and I was perfectly fine. That's all I wanted. I loved it. And my favorite flavor there was peach Melba. Peach with a raspberry swirl.
That was it.
I thought you were going to tell me your favorite was Boston cream.
No, we didn't have that. We'd have had that, I'd have threw it out. I told him it was bad. Hey man, props. I was cheap, man. If pretty girls left flirting with me, she get extra ice cream.
Well, I guess I'll get a chance to get a couple more foreign vessels this evening.
Mm-hmm.
What's
There's
coming
an
down?
upbound just north of Marine City and heading for St. Clair is the Solomon Discoverer. And it's a self-loading and unloading bulk carrier. I don't know where it's from, but it says on the side. It's got some name on the side of it. Let me see if I can get a picture of it. It's called the Solomon Neptune is what's on the side of it.
Okay.
Then just below that, just north of Algonac, is the Reggae Borg, a Borg ship from Wagenborg. It's just a bulk carrier.
But you still will be assimilated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indiana Harbor's up north, so it'll be down.
Okay.
That's a 1,000-footer.
Only thing there is to say. Every silver lining got pain.
Brenda says they need rain bad
Picture
down in Southern
green.
Florida. And Mad Prop says it started raining Monday night where he is and hasn't stopped yet.
Well, this afternoon the sun came out for the first time in a week. It's been overcast and raining off and on, but overcast since last week. Not even sure if it's gonna stick around. Nope, we got rain tomorrow.
Oh no.
We're getting rain tonight.
Rain kicks in at 8 o'clock in the morning. But then we have sunshine all weekend, so that's good.
Oh great.
There's some real bad storms out at Oklahoma City,
Oh.
Kansas City. It's all red, a big line of red storms.
That's probably what's
Uh-uh.
gonna hit me tomorrow morning. Because usually the storms, they kind of go, it's like they're traveling northeast, but just mainly across. But the winds are going northeast and it's just building back, and it comes right, whatever. Whatever they get over in Oklahoma, we end up getting.
Mhm.
Whatever Lloyd gets, I get a couple hours later.
Hmm.
What they do? There now. Actually, let me double check and see if
Here's
they are new.
Justin.
Here comes Justin.
Ding dong. Oh, they're existing.
How was school today, Justin?
It was all right. Got back a little earlier.
So tomorrow's the last day for school?
Yep. It's just a half day tomorrow, though. Is that Brenda, Randy, Jim, Lance?
Hey, Justin,
So,
did you hear that I solved the hot water in a kettle conundrum?
no.
Well, you know, David's always saying that a kettle is better than using the microwave.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, I've only got the one size kettle, so last night I used it to boil like several kettles, and then after I got that boiling water from the kettle, I froze it so I can just microwave it later.
I don't,
Good.
I don't think that he would like that.
I thought it was a pretty ingenious solution.
Yeah, yeah.
I do too.
I'd actually like to put a microwave, a kettle, a gas stove, and electric stove to the test and see which one's fastest.
They have done that online.
Have they? Which one had the fastest?
Gas is fastest, but it wastes the most energy.
Hmm.
It's worth it to prove the Brits wrong.
The kettle uses the least amount of energy, and it's usually faster than a pot on the stove.
Really?
On the electric stove, if it's hot on the electric stove, if it's a gas stove, I believe the gas stove you can beat the electric kettle, but you waste a lot of energy while you do it. Microwave, I have no idea.
Well, it probably depends on how much water too, because a microwave can boil a cup of water pretty quick.
Well,
and it depends on what.
you're still talking about
size.
all things being equal. You wouldn't say, okay, let's compare a cup of water to a liter of water.
No, but what
Yeah.
I'm saying too, then it's going to depend on what size microwave it is. You know,
I guess really it also depends on your altitude.
yeah, that would also play into it.
See, I got rain going here.
Yeah.
Why do I have Touch of Grey by the Grateful Dead stuck in my head?
It depends on what time of year it is, Randy.
I mean, it's a good song. Actually, it's a pretty good album.
Hmm.
I I liked my tape. I used to have it on tape, and the tape included Brother Esau, but the CD did not for some reason. And it always
Mm.
pissed me off. It's like that was a good song, and I get cheated out of it. Maybe I had a special tape. I don't know. Hey Justin, I need advice from you.
What?
Mm-mm.
I seriously needed advice from you. My wife is being offered a promotion, so she's going to be officially my sugar mama. What is your advice for being a kept man?
At that point, just do what she says.
Okay. What if she tells me to sell my Doom buggy and get rid of all my toys and shit?
No, no, see, it should be opposite. She'll buy you whatever you want.
Well,
You got to be submissive.
exactly. How do I get her to do that?
You got to be submissive.
Submissive means that she might tell me to get rid of some of my shit.
Hey, Jim.
Hey,
I need advice on how to walk that delicate line.
hey, Donald. It's called give and take. Give and take.
Oh, I gotta give her the old, peace and quiet, leave her alone.
Yep. Yep. Don't bother her.
And don't disturb her when her boyfriend comes over.
That's right. Give her her
I never
time.
do. Why would I start?
When her male secretary needs to stay late.
You shut up. All right, so I'm not gonna do a UTM there. I just wanna.
No, one of the managers I actually worked with at Walmart, his wife got a job making like 400 or 500 grand a year. And she got tired of him. He was assistant manager. She got tired of him working all the time. And she
Huh?
said, he came to work. He said, she gave me an ultimatum, bro. She's like, she said, either I stay at home and be a stay at home dad or I leave if I keep the job. I said, bro, fucking go home. I said, what the fuck are you doing here? I said, you make enough money for both of y'all. You don't have to worry about money. So yeah, he ended up becoming a stay at home dad. That's why
Wow.
she wanted him at, because he was just working all the time, working at Walmart.
So he turned into baby daddy.
Mm.
Yeah, and his wife got a job making a shit ton of money for some big corporation.
Heck, I can be a
So-
stay-at-home dad. The kids are grown.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The
Wouldn't
grandkids.
be much different than what you do now.
Told him, I said, shit, you wouldn't have to tell me twice. Now he ended up quitting about a week later too. Walked in, set his keys down. And it was the day before Black Friday too. He walked in there and set his keys down, said, I'm done. Walked the fuck out.
Store
Store
Black
manager was
Friday got a
pissed.
bad rep, but I wore when I worked overnight, that overnight going into Black Friday, I was pumped. It was like awesome. Get everything done, then work a little bit of overtime the next day, handling that Black Friday rush,
Hmm.
running through with tails on, pre-scanning carts and stuff.
Oh yeah, getting ready for Black Friday was easy.
Mhm.
Just pulled all the shit, all the displays out, and just unwrapped them.
Just. Oh, well, you also don't know. Actually, and it works better now that they have changed their inventory. They used to not have everything scanned in the back room. And so you didn't have any of those the back room's case scans going on. You knew what the inventory in the store was,
Oh
but that
yeah,
was
yeah.
it.
You guys didn't bin in pallets of freight.
Right.
Yeah.
And so since they can do that, they operate a lot leaner on freight. But we used to have quite a bit of freight back there, and our uh, back room was one layer of steel shorter than it was supposed to be.
I had a really clean back room. Had about the only time my back room really had anything in it, to be honest, was during the holidays.
Did you
Otherwise, our
have two
back room,
layers of the green steel? Did you have 2 layers or 3 layers of the big
it
green
was
steel?
no, ours was 4 layers. We had a
See,
big back room.
we were supposed to have 3 layers of green steel, and we had two.
We had 4 layers, but like I said, we always had it down to 1 layer. Like that was our goal, was to keep the freight down to 1 layer per area,
Oh yeah, keep it
per
lean.
department. Especially the consumable stuff. That was the most important. I actually got complimented by one of the head guys from the home office who came in and said it was one of the cleanest back rooms he ever saw.
I bet you did.
But our store manager was really strict though. Like what was cool was I was a
You
support manager.
he was using a euphemism when he said you had cleanest back room he'd ever seen, right?
Uh-huh. No, but my store manager, even though I was only a support, I had protection from all the other managers. They weren't allowed to mess with me. I only answered to him. So if he gave me a list of stuff to do and one of them pulled me off of it, he would come in there and he would ream their ass for it. Like they were not allowed to pull me or my team off of anything. We had a strict set of stuff we did every day, and that was it. Didn't matter what was going on, they could not mess with my team. And because of that, we had a very organized back room. Because as you know, you had fucking 5 managers from 5 different areas wanting to pull you to do different shit, and you couldn't
Yep.
get your own stuff done.
Listen, I have some stuff that I put on a pallet, and it's on the second layer of the steel. And I know you're unloading truck right now, but can you get it down for me?
Yep. They weren't even allowed to do that. They could not
Like,
do
well, that
ask
means
us
I'm gonna
for
have
anything.
to we'll have to break the line, bring in the high picker.
Oh god, yeah, that was annoying. And now you can't even do that because now they have these big the lines going into the truck now are a big old scanning machine now that scans all the boxes that are coming off the truck. And they're all and
That wasn't the way last year ours. That
and
must
it
be
was
in
well,
some of the
we were
nicer
one of the
places.
test stores. Remember I told you we were one of the test stores?
Oh yeah.
So they had all the conveyor was all electric. You didn't even have to push the boxes down the conveyor anymore.
Oh, I thought you said you had testy sores. I misunderstood what you were telling me.
No, they're
That's
still using
impressive.
it. I talked to my buddy Scott that still works there a couple months ago. He said they're still using it. But they don't even have to push the boxes down the line. They just set them on the line and they go right down and go through a scanner.
It's a motorized line.
Yep. And it just goes right through a scanner.
Wow. But then you still have people at the end, your throwers at the end of the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what it does is it's kind of like we were talking with the mail rooms and like the luggage. What it does is it
It
goes down
scans,
the
so
line,
it's scanning in inventory as you slide it.
Hang on.
and then what it does is each section where they put the pallets down has a little area, and it goes down to them, so they don't have to look through the boxes.
What?
Yeah, man, dude, this makes it way easier than it used to be.
Yes,
That's
David.
crazy.
Yeah, I remember doing it the old way, and it was a fucking pain in the ass. You had to look at every individual
Oh, yeah.
box. Let me see if I can find a video of what it looks like.
Evening, everybody.
So,
Hey, David.
Give me a minute to change my name. You know, I wish Zoom would allow you to automatically change it when you come in. There we go.
Okay, David, I need to tell you, I came up with a brilliant idea. It solves the entire kettle versus microwave argument.
Uh-oh.
Because you know my son has that kettle.
Yep.
But it's go up, fill the kettle, and heat it up and everything like that. And a lot of times it's just quicker to just do a mug full of water in the microwave.
Kind of, yeah.
So what I ended up doing last night is I used my son's kettle to boil up several
Oh,
kettles
found it.
worth of water. And then I put it in the freezer, and then I just pull out a little bit as I need it and heat it up in the microwave.
Bit of a waste of energy and damage to your freezer, but you know.
What? No, I'm boiling in the kettle like you told me to. But
No. I get that.
I can't use the
But-
entire kettle at once, so I portion it out, and then I can pull
Yeah.
it out and just heat it
But-
up.
You're heating it up once in the kettle, then you put it in the freezer, making it back cold, then you're heating it up again.
that's the
Yeah.
whole point
Yeah.
of the joke.
And you're damaging your food in the process.
And here, this is what it looks
I'm
like.
not damaging your food, it's water.
No. The heat from the water when you put it into your freezer would affect the
Oh, I have a
molecule.
dedicated freezer just for
No, you
water.
didn't say that though, did you? So
Yeah.
So this is what it looks like, Donald. They go through a scanner up here,
Uh-huh.
and then it comes down, and then it will spit the
Yeah,
boxes
it's
from
like a
side to
miniature of
side.
it's like a miniature of
Yeah.
the distribution center.
And they don't have to sit and look at each box. It'll just spit them automatically to the side.
That's stupid.
It actually is pretty efficient, though. They've unloaded trailers almost twice as fast using those because you're not wasting a bunch of time looking at labels. And you set your pallets in the same spot every time.
I don't know. Maybe maybe you have to have a brand new crew, but I would put my crew. I would John Henry this shit with the old crew that I had.
yeah. Now another question, Justin. How long does it take to unload a lorry these days?
Usually a truck, if it had like two,
7 to
It depends on how many pieces are on the truck.
if it was a
thought so.
3,000 piece truck, like a big truck, you're talking at least 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa! What the hell are you guys doing? One pallet, one cigarette.
No. It's all individual boxes. 2,000 to 3,000 boxes.
Yeah, these are piece picked and just and so you slide
don't
your rollers in
palletize
and you're
shit,
bringing
dude.
out.
The only thing they palletize is like dog food bags and stuff like that.
Yep.
But even then,
Dog
sometimes
food
that
or-
wasn't palletized.
where's
They
this
just
at?
throw a
Is this
couple
a-
loose bags in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're talking
some
about
kind-
supermarkets here.
Yeah, we're talking about Walmart.
We're talking about Walmart.
Well, they need to get
General
with the program,
merchandise.
right? Because over here, our distribution centers, they have them systems you just shown, right? And the stuff is fired down the conveyor belts, and each store will have its own little section, and the stuff will be coming off them. Then
Would that
conveyor
be-
belts onto the somebody will then place it onto the pallet, stack it neatly. Once the pallet's full, it'll be shrink wrapped up, dumped onto a truck.
Yeah, but any which way, you're going to
But
be
that-
either doing
that's
that
fine,
in the
but-
warehouse or you're going to
But
be
you're still
doing it in
doing
the store.
general. Yeah, still when you're combining general merchandise, you got a ton of different departments. So when your pallets come in on the truck, there'll be a mix of different departments, and you would be splitting that pallet
no, no,
open
no.
and then distributing
Nope.
it then.
No, because when they come down the conveyor belts, like I said, each store will have its own little shoot off. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then off them, there'll be shoot offs for each
There's
department.
not enough truck
because-
space for all the departments. You've never been to a Walmart.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I've
bro.
worked-
For
Actually,
You-
you're wrong. I
Have you never been
at
to a-
Walmart because I worked at Asda and they were owned by Walmart.
yeah, but your guys' stores are not on the level of ours for amount of merchandise they
Yeah,
move.
you would be.
Yeah,
if
you're
you,
talking
if
one
you had
truck.
palletized per department. You would have trucks half full because there wouldn't be enough room for pallets, and then you'd be running twice as many trucks because they'd be half stacked trucks.
We would get 2 to 3 trucks a day at our store with
Yeah,
2
we
to
got-
3,000 pieces
packed
each.
to the ceiling.
Yeah,
Yes, that's what we would get. But like I said, our pallets would come in on a double-decker trailer where you have the upper level.
And their
then
trucks are
bottom
probably
level.
like that. Their trucks are kind of like panel vans, probably.
Yeah. No, they're not. They're pretty big. But right. So each truck layer can take 48 to 62 pallets. And one of them would come in, say, at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would have the bottom layer off by 7 minutes past, lower that top layer down, and done. Yeah.
like it was
Spot
rare. And like it was super rare for us to not get a trailer in.
Yeah.
At least
Well,
at my store, our
no
store
truck
was
night?
super busy.
Oh, if there's a no truck night, that was like, okay, guys, no truck night. That means we can get our areas cleaned.
What is a no truck night? Jesus.
Cool. And get,
No
Like
delivery.
every great once in a while, you might have a night where Walmart didn't send a truck for some reason.
Mhm.
Never-
you might hit weather patterns, snowstorms, ice storms might have prevented the truck, or there's lots of different, and it wouldn't happen very often, but every once in a while it's a no truck night. It was like, okay, we are doing a deep clean of the back room. You guys here, you're just going out to the shelves and you are cleaning pet food. You're going to take care of the top of the pet food. You're going to take behind the, we got
Yeah.
so much work done on a no truck
But like
night.
I said, our stuff would come through. So the pet food would say have 3 pallets worth.
David, you're not going to convince us that you guys did more merchandising than we do in the U.S. That's what we're
I'm not-
famous
I
for.
I did not say that. I said our trucks would come in and you'd have your 3 pallets of pet food, 3 pallets of detergents, 3 pallets of tin food, or
3.
4 pallets. Then you'd have and then you'd have your refrigerated truck that would come along. You know,
And
and
what-
like I said, 15.
And so when you got the 3
you're
pallets
done.
of pet food, yeah, we'd get sometimes 5. And what would you do with the 7 that were already in your storeroom?
It would only come in what you need.
Oh,
Well, see,
yeah.
that's the whole point of that new line that they're doing with the conveyor is to scan the items.
Yes,
so
so
they're not
basically,
getting.
As
Oh,
an
we would
finish
go
it
actual-
through
the
that.
store.
We would go through those pallets of pet food.
Yeah.
We
Well,
would take those that were on the floor,
if-
take the new
if
ones
we ever-
out, and we'd
Right.
bring maybe 2 back.
So if we took 3 pallets out onto the shop floor, we would then the people on the shop floor would then spot it down where it goes, and then they would put it on the shelves. And pet food would normally take about 6-7 hours to put it onto the shelves from start to finish.
For 3
some
pallets?
hours- Yeah, but you're talking pallets stacked quite high. We're not talking low pallets here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a 20-minute job.
Does that include like a pallet
No,
of
no,
50
whole
pound?
million hours chance.
Does that include like a pallet of 50 pound, or are you talking small pack stuff? What?
We're talking like tins, yeah, 24 tins, not in crates, not where these are like individual tins, individual pouches, and then you've got your multi-pack pouches.
I'm guessing not 50-pound bags.
Well, some of them were, you get your big bags of dog food, cat food. But
Yeah,
sometimes,
somebody went
like
over to
the cat-
pets.
so like the cat litter, yeah, that would already come on
Yeah,
a,
somebody went
either on
over
a
to pets and
cage
only threw 3
or
pallets.
on a pallet.
They would be getting
depending on
talked
which one
to.
it sold.
Yeah, somebody only threw 3 pallets of pet. They would be getting talked to.
There is
Yeah,
not
like
a
ours-
open house chance you could fit anyone on this panel could do pet food in 20 minutes. Not a hope in hell's chance.
That depends on how well you know the department as well. That
It doesn't
also
matter.
factors
It doesn't
into
matter
time.
how well you know the department, right? We had people on that would go on the pet food aisle and they could do it in 5 hours. Yeah. And these people were the ones that run around like a headless chicken and always lick the manager's ass and stuff. There is no way on this planet, right? And if anyone thinks they can, right, I'll arrange it for one of you guys to come over here and try it.
Okay, get the ticket for me. I'd like to go over.
Right.
We would
I'm going to speak to Andy Townsend from Asda Blackpool, see if he will sort it out.
No, if you had like 6, you were expected to do, if it was like 6 mixed pallets, you were expected to be able to do that in one shift at our store.
Yeah, we would have
that's what I mean.
6
Mixed-
pallets,
mixed-
and you
mixed
might
pallets.
have one. You want to have maybe 1 pallet. 2 you would get frowned at going back to the stockroom.
Well, and then the guys on overnights,
We weren't
what they
allowed to
would-
send pallets back.
some of the guys on overnights, what they would do is pull the pallets down the aisles and they'd stack the shit in front of where it goes real quick and then
Yeah,
do the pallet.
spotting.
Leave them in
And
the
then
aisle.
then they would run down the aisle on both sides.
Yeah, but even
And-
that, the spotting is the worst part of that because you're then starting when you've got like shelves that are 3 layers high, and then the next one is 5 layers, and the next one is 4 layers, and all different. Yeah, and all the different types of things, and then you got all your toys there, and
Yeah,
Like I
but if
said-
you
Oh, the
if you
toys
work
in the
it, then you
collar
know
section was always a fucking mess. I hated that area.
it.
I
Yeah,
used to hate pet food aisle for the toys. It used to
The
piss me
toys and
off.
the dog collars, man. People would come in and fucking move them all around. They'd be knocked all off on the floor and to the bin in the bottom.
yep. That's what your last 40
The
minutes
amount
of the
of-
day was.
Yeah, the amount of times
Zoning.
you would start a shift, yeah, and then somebody from the jewelry section would come down and go, "Here's 24 dog collars that have been left on the necklace hooks." You're like, who the fucking hell swapped a dog collar for a necklace?
But no, our
ZTV.
store was one of the big Walmarts, so it did a lot of freight. We did about 6,000 to 8,000 pieces a day off of GM trucks on average, and then we would actually have 2 frozen dairy trucks because we had a big cooler and a big frozen section. And then we would get usually
That was it. The Asda that David worked at, they did 2 million every day.
and
Oh,
then
yeah.
we did
We did 2 freezer trucks a day. That's it.
Yeah, they probably sold $2 million worth of general merchandise every
well,
day.
ours came
I
in
wouldn't
2
know how
different
much they
times.
sold. I
We
couldn't
got one
tell
in the
you.
morning and one
It
in the
wasn't
evening.
my
time.
business to know. My
Oh, it
business
was mine.
My business was to get that truck in and piss the driver off by when he goes for his break. I call in there and go, "Can you get your truck off my back door? I've got another one coming in." Yeah, he used to hate it because some staff, when I went on, would give the lorry drivers an hour. Yeah, and I would make sure they were back on that truck within the half an hour allotted to them. Yeah, and if they wanted longer, I'd turn a blind eye to them parking over the back, but I wanted them off that door for the next truck to come in. So when I was in the warehouse, bread used to come in at 6:30, and every individual packet of bread had to be counted because it was not coming from central warehouse; it's coming from the bakery direct.
See, we didn't do our bread. All our bread was done by vendors. They
Yep.
came in every day and stocked it.
No, our bread's me. Coca-Cola used to be done by vendors, but that was a pain in the ass because they would come in, yeah, and they would go, "Oh, we want our Coca-Cola in this section now," and they'd just literally clear the shelves and put it all on cages, and then they put all their stuff in, and then the night staff would come in and be like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" 'Cause they then have to go and find a plan because our shelves as well had to stick to a plan. So if it said free forward, free facing,
Yeah,
that was it. It was only allowed
Hey.
3 cans in that section.
yeah, you got to
Yeah,
follow the
it's-
planogram.
Yeah, they were bloody annoying. Every 6 months they changed it.
Oh yeah, our Coke and Pepsi guys, they had a specific section in the steels, and anything extra that was brought in had to be approved before they ordered it. Like whenever they had to set up a big display or something, they'd have to approve it with the store
Oh
manager.
no, they would always plan in advance for like displays and stuff, but the section itself, they were entitled to, you know, so many shelves.
No, if they over ordered though, because they just weren't doing their shit correctly, oh,
They had
dude,
to go back with them.
my store manager would flip the fuck out if
Yeah.
they had extra shit.
Well, over here in Asda, so say like you know, Coca-Cola came in, they filled the shelves and they said, "Oh, we've got 24 cans of Coca-Cola left." They'd be like, "Yeah." You put it back on your van and you bring it on your next run, because we don't carry the inventory for that stock.
And you
Yeah,
should have
that was their job.
And our district manager, man, that dude was very intimidating. He was like 7'4" and fucking, I mean, built like a tank. This dude was huge. And our store manager was like 5'6". He'd stand next to him. It was funny as shit.
Yeah.
I was like, man, he'd get out of turn. He's gonna Donkey Kong his ass right in the head.
Yeah, the best one used to be the milk guy. He used to turn up, and I would just get the little straps and I'd clip all the trolleys together and pull them off like a train. Yeah, so he's expecting, you know, each individual like 24 trolleys, yeah, to take me half an hour. I just clip them all together and pull them off in one go. Go, right, you can go now. Every day he called me a fucking bastard.
Oh, our stuff all came in on pallets on the milk on the.
Yeah, but you sell a
dairy
lot more.
trucks.
You sell a lot more milk, and you sell it in bigger cartons, don't you? Where
I think your guys' gallon's bigger than ours.
we do,
Yeah.
we sell it in pints, 4 pints, whatever that is.
Yeah,
We
but
used to do 6 pints, but they've stopped them.
but my team didn't do GM trucks. We only did frozen and dairy, and with 9 people, I mean, we had that truck unloaded in like 10 minutes. And 9 people in there
9
with
people
pallet
unloading
jacks.
a truck.
Yeah, because they would line up with pallet jacks, and 2 would go in,
Yeah.
grab it, then 2 more
Yeah,
would go in.
frozen dairy did come in, everything palletized.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
and
everything came in palletized over here. Frozen
Yeah.
came on bigger truck, like the milk.
It was only when you're
bigger
doing
version.
GM side that
now I wish
came in
Walmart would have
scrap.
done more like Aldi's does, because Aldi's all their shit comes in on carts, and they just pull it out of the door and put a new cart in the door, and it makes it so much easier. But our shit always
Yeah, that's
came
what
in
we
crates.
do. That's what we do over here. Milk comes in on them trolley things, and as soon as it's ready to swap over, we swap it over, and then you put the
I agree. That
older
system
stuff at the front.
That system is a lot better.
Yeah, because it
But-
would
Yeah.
take the person on milk would come every 4 hours and, you know, spruce it up. Yeah, it would take them 5 minutes.
every
Yeah.
4 hours. Man, that's a hell of a refractory period.
Well, that's
Oh, yeah.
that's on average. Every
Yeah,
He was
4
coming
hours.
every 4 hours.
Dude, you had to do it like every 30 minutes at our store. They'd fucking wipe the milk out. That and the fucking
I'm
coffee
I'm
creamer.
making a joke. I said if he came every 4 hours, that's a heck of a refractory period.
Weird.
No, I always wish though that they had the cart system, because I always used to love how Aldi's did it. They would just pull the cart out the door, couple gallons left on it, they'd throw it on the next cart, push it out.
Yeah. The
Oh,
only
there we
thing
go.
I used to hate about warehouse was come the second week of December, the Easter eggs started coming in. So you would have you still have your last couple of trucks with Christmas stock, and then the Easter stuff would come in. But the Easter stuff obviously had to go up on the shelves, and you always, because obviously I'm dealing with the trucks, we always had somebody that dealt with the, you know, high stuff. He always never looked, kept fucking pushing the Easter eggs off the other side. Like, for fuck's sake, not again.
I'm just now reading back through chat.
Oh, I got asked to go help at Sebring's store one day, and it was me, my whole
Walmart
team had to
professionals.
go over there with the district manager and our store manager to help in their back room. Dude, we found 10 Christmas pallets up in their top steel in July, and I'll tell you what, the district manager was pissed.
You see, you
Dude, their
couldn't
back
do,
room was so bad, dude.
yeah, you couldn't do that over us because each pallet had its own barcode on, and every night the night manager would come in, and he'd have a scanner. He made it himself. It's a scanner on a stick, and he'd just run along going beep 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 beep. and
Yeah,
he'd
but
know
managers
was
over
left.
here had a bad problem with hiding shit too.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah.
would try to hide
Department
shit up in the top
managers?
still. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
Or
department
even
managers.
I even seen assistants and store managers do it at stores
Well,
where they hid shit.
Hmm.
as the
no.
now, as the way Asda's run today is nothing compared to how it used to be run. If their managers back in my day saw the way Asda Basildon was run, they'd have fucking heart attacks. It literally, you go in the morning, and they've not finished, or they've just chucked it on the top, and gone, that'll do for tomorrow night, and it's right at the top, but the customer's going to want it, and they're going to start climbing them fucking shelves. I just
Yeah,
don't.
Yeah. Before we know it, David's gonna be downloading Euro pallets, and he'll be.
Oh,
You
the
do Euro
simulator bed?
trucks. Yeah.
Yeah,
Why isn't there Euro pallets?
There probably is, but it's not something I'd be interested in.
But
It's called
No.
Tetris.
my store manager actually had me hide 2 pallets of the it was the Walmart cups, the ones when they were copying Yeti, when
Mhm.
Yeti tried to sue him over it. They were selling like hotcakes because we were selling 2 44-ounce cups for like $10. And they were
Mhm.
flying off the shelves. Everybody was coming in buying them because they were a carbon copy of the Yetis. Because Yeti's dumbasses didn't file their patent in time. And the store manager called up the warehouse and had a buddy that worked there and sent him 2 pallets of them. And we were the only ones that had the cups, and he was hiding them from the district manager. He had me hide them up in the things and he had me put cardboard around them so you couldn't see what was inside of them. Luckily, the district
Shut
manager
up,
just walked by.
Justin.
Huh.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, my first night at Asda Fullwood was the funniest night I've ever worked at Asda, because I started the
Can I
shift
get one of those?
and they put me on biscuits with this guy,
Can I get
and
one
he
of those?
went and he goes, listen, I want to be off this aisle by 3 o'clock in the morning. And I looked at all the biscuits, I was like, fucking none of hope in hell's chance, because you've got to rotate your stock, surely. And he went, nope, just push it in. Yeah. Well, he told me that I had to clean the plastic, at the front, because all the shelves were at an angle. Yeah. What he didn't tell me was that one piece of plastic did the whole aisle. So I pulled it up to clean it. All the fucking aisle of biscuits came down. So all the managers came to help put them all back on. And then they started finding biscuits that were like 3 years out of date. He was sacked on the spot. That's the one thing they hated when you didn't do stock rotation.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could get away with it every now and again on the tins, but yeah, not on fresh and biscuits.
I'll tell Justin I finished.
Tell Laura to shut up.
Who
Laura,
told me to
it-
shut up?
Donald.
Donald, you can shut the hell up.
Oh, David, it sounds to me like you have a fork stuck in a garbage disposal.
Don't worry, I'll try and sort it later.
It might just be Laura. I can't tell. It's
Yeah.
really noisy.
Right,
It's a
Laura, what
bunch
was
of
I supposed
noisy,
to tell
screeching
Justin?
noises.
Laura Justin's finished the battle pass.
Laura Justin's finished the battle pass.
The-
That made a lot of sense.
Oh, I got another half page. And I'm
Oh
done.
shit! It's after 5 o'clock.
Hey, Laura.
Hey,
Laura, Joe feels left out. You didn't mention him.
Hi, Joe. How are you doing?
He's on the phone.
Okay.
he's on the phone.
He's
There,
waved.
Geos.
Hey, Wade.
Hi, Dominic.
Hello.
No, I got all the other bonus stuff and all that done. I just have one half page of the bonus rewards left.
I completed it.
That reminds me, I've got to go on there and fucking cancel my Game Pass. So I'm not playing the stupid fucking shit.
I even got Darth Vader.
We're going to do that, and we're
I was
going
talking
to
shit
say
to him.
that is good.
Oh, I got him the other day.
You can talk shit to him.
Yeah.
So that one is built and ready to go.
I think
By the
Corey
way-
got him the other day, and Corey was asking him if he had sex with certain characters.
Built and
From the
ready
movie.
to go.
You go and go and find some online first aid courses.
Not right now, no, because my computer's off.
You need to find them
Why?
because I've got to cut my liability insurance cost down.
Why? How much do they say?
If I don't have trained anyone with first aid knowledge, yeah, it's going to be £199. Yeah, it drops to £98 if I've got someone that knows first aid and can
Oh,
prove.
bugger.
Yeah,
Bugger, I've got a first aid certificate. It's a shame that I'm not anywhere near you then.
you know, it's a fucking pain in the ass. The guy said to me, he went, "Oh, we're going to need a video to make sure you're all able to walk in high heels." Fuck off, kinky fucker.
Yeah, it's always occupational health and safety that seem
Wait,
to
hold on. You have to have
get in the way
insurance
of
to go
everything.
do that walk.
I don't need the insurance myself, but because Laura's going to be with me, and because Mark and Kate might turn up, and my mate Albert and his missus are turning up, yeah, they're actually walking along with me, yeah, because there's now general public involved. Yes, I have to have public liability insurance.
So
Worried about
everybody's wearing high heels.
they're worried about Mark pushing David out in the road.
Yeah.
I think they're more worried about me going over the fucking thing.
High heels,
Yeah, the
high
seat was so-
heels, high heels, high heels,
What the
high
fuck?
heels and lipstick on. He's got a dress and it's a mess.
Yeah, I think we can have that from Sockeye. Fish eye.
Close
Oops.
enough. That's his cousin.
Yeah, but the wet. Will you shut up? Yeah. Fucking bird right down my ear. Right, so yes, the waves were so high this weekend, and so strong, it actually took a tree from Ireland and dumped it on the beach at Blackpool. Not on the beach, but over the sea wall. Actually onto the sea wall itself. Literally over the top. Boink. And it's become a tourist attraction. Best one was a little kid went up to it and looked underneath. She went, "Where's the leprechauns?" It's like, whoops. Was that? Oh no, I was just shutting the door. With what?
Yeah.
Tony is talking, yeah, we got Walmart professionals here. It's like, hell yeah. We got our own gang sign. Walmart!
As Donald never had to plot in the first place.
You know what's funny is my Cap 1 team used to do that to the Cap 2 team when they'd come in.
Back in a minute,
In the
guys.
evening.
Do the Walmart.
Yeah, they'd be throwing gang signs up at each other as they're walking in. Like, you guys are fucking idiots.
No.
Yeah, the whole Cap 2 team, it was funny, is a lot of them were Mexican. And they were talking crap to me and my buddy Scott one day that worked with me. And I walked in and they were making all these white jokes at us. And I walked in there, I said, "What?" And then I came in about 20 minutes later. I was like, "Oh, it looks like in front of a Home Depot in here." And they were like, "Oh, shit." Oh, we used to talk so much shit in that back room. And HR heard half of what we said back there. No. My address has been the same for 34 years.
Brenda says hello to you, David.
What, do you lose your package, Brenda? Fucking post office, dude. I hate them.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what Joe's got a package that went back to Port Charlotte.
Such address. Uh,
What's up, Corey?
Hey, Corey. Good evening.
Partners, Bowman Discover, still no downbound traffic report, check down on Whitebird, that's done. Check down Set Imperial in the starting government stock.
Yeah, 3 slices of pizza. I'm fucking full. I can't eat no more.
What are you eating?
I had 3 slices of pizza.
Oh,
I just can't
Pizza.
eat as much as I used to. Like when I was a teenager, I could fucking eat 2 large pizzas in one sitting.
Pizza
I can't
Wednesday,
do that
huh?
no more.
mm.
Never hear 'em.
That's nothing. When Joe was a pizza, he was able to eat 2 whole teenagers.
He flipped me off. He flipped you off.
Yeah, there's the golden finger.
Aubrey or Kelsey.
Okay, where is my millimeters? There it is. Well, shit. I need a piece of paper. Finally getting around to ordering some new rims.
Mm-hmm.
First, I need to figure out what size I need.
Dude, I wish these kids would figure out tomorrow which ones are gonna stay home, which ones are coming. Fuck's sake. You get the 2 that decide to come for the day to school, and they're the 2 that live in the exact opposite areas of each other. So they still have to run the whole fucking bus route to take one kid home. Everybody else in between decided to stay home.
Why are they staying home?
Because it's the last couple days of school. A lot of kids will end up. The grading period ended like last Thursday, so
Mhm.
they don't technically have to be there. The schools are only open because the government says they have to be.
Oh, gotcha.
But the kids don't get like they're not losing any credit or anything for not being there the last couple days. So. Once the grading period ends, then they don't technically. The teachers will tell them you can stay home if you want. It's up to you guys. But it's just like all the kids that are deciding to go are the ones that's at the beginning of the bus route and the end of the bus route. And everybody in between's the ones that decided they're not going to come to school. It's like, it'd be nice if the one at the end would not come. It sucks when you got to drive fucking 25 miles to take one kid home. Because now these kids with this new school choice that Florida and a lot of other states are doing, these kids are going to schools like way far from their houses now. Because they don't have to go to the school in their area anymore. So some of these kids are picking schools that are 45 minutes from their house.
Well, what is it? School of choice or just?
No, it's school choice. The kids, and because everybody always complained for years about equality, you have inner city schools. So now, like Florida's doing, the way they do their schools now is every school is funded equally. So it doesn't matter if you're in a rich area or a poor area, the schools get funded equally based on the amount of kids there are, but it's equal to the proportion of students and teachers. And then the kids can choose to go, instead of having to go to the high school or middle school in their area, in their part of town, they can go all the way across town and go to a better school. Or they can go to another city that's 30 minutes away and go to a school there.
Oh, if I was a parent, that's where I'd send my kids. Longer bus ride.
Yeah, but then when they get sick and you got to pick them up.
Screw it. They don't get sick. They get sick, they can walk.
Don doesn't allow them to get sick.
But some of these kids will be on the bus for like 2 hours each way every day to go to school.
Yeah, and they probably sit down and get their homework done, don't they?
Actually, my Winter Haven kids, they do, because they're in a special program for like gifted students.
Nerds.
They're in the same classes that my son's in at the same school. But a lot of them live in
nerds.
See, my son lives in Winter Haven. A lot of them live in Haines City and Davenport. And that's like about a half hour to 45-minute drive, depending on traffic. Well, like my son's in the same class as they're in. It's a program for gifted students. They're a little bit ahead of their peers. Those kids are like super focused. That's all they give a shit about is their schooling. They don't talk to nobody on the bus. They don't care about interacting with other people. And they'll sit and do their homework. They'll be sitting there doing their math and their, whatever homework they got to do. They'll be sitting there, or they'll be reading a book. Those kids are the quietest kids ever. Like, you can tell they're not at school to meet friends and boyfriends and girlfriends. They're there to do their schooling and pass. That's all they care about. But then I have another school that's all troublemaker kids. So, I mean, they're not bad for me, but. But if you get on my bus, you can tell the difference between the two high schools, because we have both of them on the same bus. All the kids from Winter Haven are super quiet, doing homework, reading a book. All the kids from Roosevelt are all
a bunch of
kids.
Assholes.
They're a bunch of kids that are like behind and have failed a bunch of
What
times.
about Blackpool fans?
They're just a little bit louder and more rowdy than the other kids. Like I said, you can totally tell the difference between them. You'd be able to spot which kid was from what school.
Damn it. Like a centimeter short or centimeter long.
It's fucking hot out today.
Okay, I'm back.
Figure it out.
Huh? What?
You figure it out.
Yeah, she gave me the address inverted.
Inverted.
Yeah, the 4 numbers had 2 numbers mixed, flipped. So the post office said they can't physically change the address for security purposes. And I said, I'm the freaking sender. I gave you all information. She says, well, if we have her phone number, we'll call her tomorrow because this thing is coming back to me. I said, has it left Port Charlotte? They said, no, it's at the post office. I said, can you put a hold on it? Call her tomorrow. I'll give her the information. She pick it up maybe. So they're gonna send all of that to the post office. So she calls. I sent her the post office number and everything. 8:30 to 4:30 in the morning they open. So she's just got to call them and hopefully they still got it. Or it's coming back to me, and it's got my wrong address on it because it's got the PO box on it. But they know me at the post office. So it's like,
Watch them just keep sending it back and forth like a fucking ping pong.
well, it will come back to me because I put my stick on label on the top. You know, so they'll know it's me because I've had a PO box there for years and I just gave it up. They know who it is. Not that issue. And it's not like I'm in New Orleans, you know,
Watch they come arrest Joe for mail fraud.
for $5 and a 3D print.
Trying to get one over on us, boy. Trying to get a free PO box.
Man, I don't want a PO box. Shit. When I started getting the PO box, it was like $17. It stuck for $17 for 3 months. And it went up to like almost $80 for 3 months.
Can you imagine in your vehicle getting destroyed like this?
You shouldn't have parked up there.
Actually, the car park had a fire on the other side of the building, but they won't let the people on that side get their cars off after the fire for insurance purposes. So they're now going to destroy every one of them. It's a serious.
Is this over by you?
Yeah, I think that's an American car as well.
Yeah, third world country.
Third world.
Yeah,
Why is it
Third
third
world
world?
problem.
Because we had a fire in a car park.
third world problem because you couldn't get the people up there to get the cars.
What
No,
happened now?
They could. So the car park had a fire, an
Uh-huh.
electrical car fire, which spread and damaged 1,300 cars. And because part of the fire damaged part of the ramp, yeah, on the up ramp, they wouldn't let the people go up and get the cars that have not been damaged for health and safety reasons, and insurance just paid out on them. But it wouldn't matter because if you had one of them cars, you'd be still gutted to watch that get destroyed that way.
Yeah, electric vehicles and that catch are not the best thing for sure. They've got to come up with a better way of putting those things out because they even said that like just to put one out, they got to use like 6 or 7 times more water than an average car fire.
Yep.
Well, they don't actually use water, do they? They use foam.
Well, like over here, not every fire department might have foam though.
Well, no, they put a chemical in the water that makes it foam, and
Because there's been fire departments over here that had to fight them with fire or water, and it was just it would go out and then it'd get back and spark back
So
up.
what you're saying is, if we're a third world country, the fact that your fire departments don't have foam means you're a fifth world country. Even Australia firefighters have foam.
I didn't say, yeah, but some departments are little volunteer departments. They might not have all the equipment like that.
Yeah, even volunteer departments have foam. Every
Mhm.
fire engine has it over here.
Yeah.
For that reason.
Volunteer fire departments run on a very tight budget. Like my dad, when he was the volunteer fire chief in California, he went out and my grandma had to do a bunch of grant writing for him just to get them new equipment because they were using, I'm not even kidding, and this was back in the mid 90s. Dude, they were using fire engines and all their water tender and their fire engine, everything was from the 1950s, early 50s.
So does your government not pay for your fire services?
Volunteer, yes, but like I said, they're on a very tight budget because it's a
Yeah, but-
volunteer fire department.
Yeah, so
My-
over here we have full-time firefighters and retained firefighters.
Oh
which are
yeah,
the
we
ones-
have those,
But yeah, the volunteer ones, they still get full equipment paid for by the government or by the
Well,
local fire service.
no, they get money, but it's not a lot because you got to think how many rural towns and cities and little towns there are all over.
Oh, it doesn't
the
really
US.
matter over here. You could be in a
Thousands of them.
village of say 400 houses. Yeah, and as long as it's got a fire station, then it'll get the equipment that it needs.
But yeah, my dad had to get my grandma to write a bunch of grants, and he ended up getting them a new water tender, a new fire engine, new ambulance, a couple other trucks, and then he got them all new equipment and everything. Like they were still using shit from the 50s. It was crazy. Like you should have saw their fire engine. It was really old school looking.
The craziest thing I have seen over here was when a fire station went up in smoke and they weren't legally allowed to use the fire engines in the fire station to put the fire out. They had to call another fire station to come in and put it out because of health and safety.
Oh my god, dude, I hate government bureaucracy. That makes no fucking sense.
Of course it doesn't.
Health and safety. Like that, I don't understand that. Yeah, that'd be some shit you'd see over here too. Some dumb shit like that.
Yeah, because we had one as well in Southend where a block of flats went up on smoke, and the fire station next door had, the platform ladder,
Uh-huh.
but they wouldn't allow them to use it because the driver, had booked a couple of hours off, so they had to get one from Chelmsford to come over. It's like, surely somebody could have just drove that truck out because the other firefighters that knew how to operate the ladder was there. Yeah, and it only had to come like 200 meters.
Yeah, you would think so.
But health and safety said no.
Yeah, you gotta love stupid rules like that.
I get some health and safety, but some of it just absolutely start raving bonkers.
Mm.
Because my dad even got them a pay program. Even though it was volunteer, he got a money for them to where they would. I don't know if they still have the program, but the entire time my dad was chief for like 7-8 years, they were getting paid $10 an hour while they were on call from the time they left their house. So they were actually getting some money to compensate for gas and different things like that. Because what they would have to do is respond to the firehouse in their personal vehicle, get the fire truck, and then haul ass from the fire station.
Yeah, that's what I hate about retained firefighters. They normally have a day job, and the rules are stupid. They have to work within 5 minutes of the fire station that they're posted at. But a lot of the fire stations they're nowhere near industrial estates. They're in the middle of town centres. Yeah, so you're going to get chippy workers and shop workers running down the street to the fire station rather than big bulky fucking guys that can do the job.
Oh no, I don't know how many times me and my dad were over in Barstow, which is about 20 miles away, and he'd get a call, and we'd fucking be racing down the freeway at 130 in his fire chief's car.
Was he allowed to get away with that?
Yeah, they can. Well, I don't know about going that fast, but he did. They never pulled
It
him
always
over or
puzzles
nothing.
me over here, right? If a police car comes up behind you, right? The politest thing is to get out of the way, but apparently it's not compulsory, right?
Over here,
So if
it's a
you're-
law.
Yeah, so over here, if you're at the traffic lights,
Well,
And-
not unless they have lights on. If they've got lights
Yeah.
going,
Oh,
you gotta-
if their lights
Yeah.
are blaring,
but
you
that's
have
what
to
I mean.
move
So
out of the way.
over here, one of our friends, she was parked at the traffic lights. A fire engine came up behind her, yeah, and the police car, both with blue lights going. So she pulled over the white line to let them through, yeah. And the police car going past took a photograph,
Yeah.
yeah, and she got a ticket and had to go on a course for endangering other road users by going over the white line.
Oh no, here you get the fuck out of their way, whether you got to go off the road or
Yeah,
whatever.
whether you gotta
Oh,
go
I've
up on
seen
the
your
curb or up on
firefighters.
the sidewalk, get out of the way.
Yeah, you get the
Yeah.
fuck out of their way. Period.
Yeah, I've seen your firefighters. They just barge past. They're like, you're in the way? Get out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, like the cops, dude, they don't give a fuck, dude. They'll go up on the sidewalk and just fucking down the sidewalk just to get around traffic. They don't give a shit.
No, they don't do that here.
If they have to get around traffic, they will go up on the sidewalk. They'll go up on mediums, whatever they have to do to get through traffic. Sometimes traffic is so heavy that the cars can't park, like park the Red Sea for them, so they can
Yeah.
get through. So they'll go up on the sidewalks and curbs and everything else, and then drive around the traffic. They don't give a shit, dude.
I am going to like
By
the
the
new
way.
law they're going to bring in. So if a fire engine's going down the road and they can't get through because two cars are parked level with each other, one on each side of the road, yeah, because our roads are not like yours. Well, our roads are like poles, little side roads. Yeah, so if they can't get through, they're going to get both cars ticketed and probably send someone in to move them. You're muted, Donald.
Oh, no wonder you guys didn't hear the little joke I told for myself.
Did you laugh? That's what we want to know.
Yeah, I did. Justin said over here, if the road's blocked, they'll drive over mediums. And I said, that's how Dionne Warwick died. She had the psychic network. Drive over mediums, psychic. Yeah.
Yep.
That's why I said I like those little jokes that are just for myself that no one else will laugh at.
Whatever works for you, Donald.
Oh yeah, just like if you're going down one side of the road and the cops or ambulance are coming from the other side, it's in a lot of states you're supposed to pull over even if they're not going the same direction as you. You pull over and you sit still and let them go by. Like here, whenever an ambulance goes by, and if I'm going the opposite direction, you'll see everybody pull over from the side of the road and sit till they pass them. Because you never know where they might be turning or anything. Like, don't stop in front of like a road or a parking lot entrance, anything like that, because they may have to turn or something like that. Yeah, I was, matter of fact, we were over at the racetrack gas station. Me and the bus driver pulled over the other day because he needed to stop and go to the bathroom. And one of the cops came up and he came sliding in next to the cars at the light and almost fucking took a sign out. Trying to get through traffic to get out to the intersection. I mean, he came barreling in there at like 60, 70 miles an hour, sliding next to the traffic on the median, and almost fucking took out a road sign. Now, I'm sure there's a certain speed that they're not supposed to go over, but that doesn't stop them. I mean, you'll see sheriff's deputies and state troopers and shit doing 120 down the road when they're responding to a call. And whether they're allowed to go that fast, I don't know. I guess it probably depends on what code they're responding to. All right, I'm jumping off. I'll catch y'all later.
Yeah, I'm not far behind you. I'll be in bed another 5 minutes. And I've got to get to do what I need to do.
Okay, if you guys want to close it down, we can do that.
It's up to you.
I don't mind. Frank's just arrived. Hey, Frank.
Hey,
Hey,
Frank.
Justin, I got a bone to pick with you.
He just
Frank.
left.
He's got a bone
Oh,
Lord
to
help
pick.
me. I'll pick
You
his
must
bone
have
tomorrow.
Got
known.
a bone to pick with you. He's got a bone to pick.
Yeah. I'll get that. I'll pick that bone tomorrow.
Okay, then.
Yeah, I'm gonna get him about telling me, yeah, one of these days he's gonna be driving and he's gonna think he's got enough gas, he's gonna run out of gas. I'm gonna get him on that. Didn't run out, but it made me think. What? What are you so excited for?
7.5.
So, Paul, how many ships have you got today?
Just a couple. I got a couple more coming up, but the problem is it's raining out. And it's not raining here yet, but it's just a misty rain.
Oh,
I,
that's
pro-
shit,
I
you
probably
That's
could go
never
get-
stopped you before.
I could probably go get them, but
well, well, close her up and go off then.
Shut
Okay.
up, Dominic.
is that what you're voting for? Is to
I'm
close?
talking about Dominic. Shut up,
Yeah,
Dominic.
well, I'm jumping off in a couple of minutes anyway, so.
Joe, are you hanging or are you closing?
Feeling bad. I
Okay,
got a
let's
head
close.
full all of a sudden.
Wow.
Trying to think of who I was around that may have been sick.
Oh, you know the what are they called? The little things that you put on shoes and that, the little what are they called, these stupid things?
Laces?
Right,
No,
like the aglet.
the little clips. The like what you put the laces through, the two metal things.
Oh, okay.
Eyelets.
Hole,
Eyelets, that's the one.
eyelets,
Yeah.
holes.
The mate wanted fucking eyelets putting on his flag today for Wembley on Saturday. Yeah. And as I went to freaking hit it with a hammer, yeah, some fucking person went, "You don't want to do that." And I turned around, I fucking whacked my finger. He was fucking right.
No.
You whacked his finger and I like, pack it in.
You know.
I got a question. Did it hurt?
Yes. Took off my nail off.
A little bit or a lot?
No, just a little bit. Right. It's just a weird shape.
Well, the
It's
ship's
out-
at the Black River. What do you guys think? Should I go
Yeah,
get it?
well, If
East
it's-
Coast
yeah.
said don't fly
Yeah,
in the
you,
rain.
you can pack it in.
yeah, they
Pack
pack
it
it in
in?
and you go and try it.
Okay.
That's what
Yeah.
we're into.
I know he's gonna go down there. The
Hey,
rain won't
thanks
stop.
for being here.
Hey!
Right, catch you later, guys.